Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. Yay! Our house guests of the day are Kathleen. Is it Sisirski or is it Chichirski? I always say your name wrong, and I'm so sorry for that. But thank you so much. And Brady Mathiasen, thank you so much for the support, both of you. You are amazing. We appreciate it, and we could not do this without you. So thank you so, so much. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, like those lovely people, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Yay! Oh, we got a Yankee fan in the house. Yay! It's been a tough season, obviously, for baseball fans, but also, like, we have YouTube TV and they're not carrying the Yes Network anymore. So I haven't been able to watch my baseball and it's been tough. But anyway, let's talk about Big Brother. I also want to thank all of our super chatters before we get into today's spoiler. So our super chatters from yesterday: Lisa Lunetta, Jody Cortez, Thrifty Babes, Laura Greer, Laura G, Estine, Treval K, and M. Murray COJ. Thank you all so much. You are amazing, and we really couldn't do it without you. All right, let's talk about what's going on. Thank you, Jefferson. You're amazing. Thank you so much. So when we left off yesterday, the feeds were down for the Power Veto competition. The host was David, and the players were Christmas, Davon, Bailey, Danny, Nicole, and Ian. Okay, so this was a prizes and punishments, blah, blah, blah. Prizes and punishments competition. Those are always exciting. And it's the whole like white elephant where you can like take other people's prize or punishment away from them and like make it your own. So it also sounds like the competition was a variation of the Ready, Set, Whoa competition, but this time they had to wait until there was some math. So they had to wait until the numbers added up to a certain number, and then they would have to go and run, hit their buzzer. So you had to think and run. Okay. So guess what? Christmas won the power veto. We already went over that yesterday. Oh my goodness. So let's go over the other prizes and punishments. Apparently Day and Bailey were both out very early in this competition, but Day ended up getting $5,000, and it sounds like Nicole took a punishment or something away from Davon and gave her the $5,000. So that was a really nice gesture, and I guess it's kind of a way of, paying her back for voting for her to win in season 18. So that was a nice gesture on Nicole's part, I will say. Danny sounds like got a slot pass, I think. Nicole got a slap card. Fun. Bailey got a punishment, the triathlete punishment, which we'll talk about later. And Ian didn't end up playing because he wasn't feeling good. So he's been having a lot of issues with his anxiety lately. I think he was, his blood pressure was off, and I think they didn't even want him to go outside because it was hot. So he did not end up playing, which is interesting. That doesn't happen very often, but I hope he's going to be okay. So anyway, after the feeds came back, after the competition, Day was alone up in the HOH room. She was crying, really upset that she lost. Not just her, but also that Bailey lost, because at least if Bailey won, they could have gotten somebody else on the block for sure. But Day says to herself, don't be a sore loser. That's so whack. But she says, not only did you lose, but you were the first one out. Oh, no. And she says, what are you doing? Why am I so good on the challenge, and then I come on here and I'm whack? Yeah. So then she was saying how she's complaining with $5,000 around her neck because each prize or punishment, they gave it to them like a little medal, because it was like a track theme. And she says, get it together. Get it together, Davon. She said, there's someone in the world who needs $5,000, and I'm sitting here crying about it. But you know what? You're allowed to feel bad about something. You know what I mean? It's great for her to think oh, somebody else would love to have this and I should be grateful. And I think she is grateful, but you're allowed to mourn things and, be upset about something. It's okay. So, meanwhile, we've got Danny, Nicole, and Christmas in the lounge. And it seems like Christmas might have been a little bit pissed that Danny and Nicole did not take the veto. Instead, they went for, one went for a prize and one went for a punishment. But I don't think Christmas wanted to win this veto, and now she has everybody looking at her, right? So Danny says, I'm genuinely sorry. I can tell you're upset. And Christmas is like, no, I'm not upset. Like, this is the best case scenario. And Danny and Nicole are saying, we didn't know what to do. Were we supposed to take the veto from Bailey or Devon? Like, we didn't know. And Christmas says, it's okay. We didn't have a game plan going in. That's my fault as the HOH, because as the HOH, Christmas considers herself like a public servant. This is a position of service. So yeah, she's like, it's fine. I didn't tell you guys what you should be doing. So she says she does feel overwhelmed because it's all on her now. And Danny's like, no, we're a team. Don't put it all on yourself. And Danny says, I will do whatever I can next week to take any heat off of you. She says she's going to diffuse anything she can to make it okay for Christmas. So Christmas says, like, I'm not mad at you guys. Don't worry. So then they start talking about Kevin, because they've been suspecting, maybe Kevin has one of the secret powers. I don't think Christmas and Danny realize that they each have a power. I don't think they've told each other that. I don't think that information has gotten around yet for them to figure that out. But they think that Kevin might have a power. Christmas even thought maybe because Day and Bay did so poorly in the competition that they threw it because they knew that Kevin had this power that was going to be able to save both of them. No. But now they're thinking, maybe Kevin doesn't have a power after seeing how upset Day was after the competition was over. Yeah. Okay, so then Christmas says, you know what? We can't beat ourselves up here. Bailey and Devon both had the opportunity to win the power veto this week. It's just part of the game. They didn't win. And that's it. So then Christmas again says this is the best case scenario because now there's no favoritism here. I'm just going to, keep the nominations the same and let the house decide who goes. Great. And when she says the house, she means she expects the house to do what she wants because she's under the, I don't even want to call it assumption. Like, she is from the Big Brother school of we do whatever the HOH wants and we got to stick together as a team, blah, blah, blah. So Nicole says, all right, we're going to vote out whoever you want. We'll make it happen. And Danny's like, yeah, I just want to say, I feel like Devon would be easier for us to pull in to work with us because they've talked about maybe getting a group of 4 together, Danny, Nicole, Devon, and Christmas. And Danny's like, I don't know that Bailey would work with us if she's the one to stay. And they all agree, like, yeah, Day would probably be much more inclined to work with us. But then they agree, like, if that's the case and they do pull Devon into a group, they do not want Kevin involved because they say they're sick of him. Whoa, okay. So meanwhile, Cody and Enzo are in the photo bedroom. And Cody says that Danny asked him last night if they said that they would vote her out if she was up on the block because she heard from Bailey that they did say that. So I'm pretty sure this happened during that Slicks meeting that they had with everyone from that group except for Danny. And they were all talking about how, Danny was going to be the next to go and they'd be willing to take her out. But like, we didn't see that because I'm pretty sure it happened that night when the feeds were down, like the whole entire night, because there was the threat of a wall yeller. Or maybe there was a banner. Apparently there was a banner too. I don't know. But anyway, Cody says, don't worry. I denied it with Danny. Like, we're all good. And Cody and Enzo agree. They are done with all of them. So they're talking about like Danny, Bay, Day. They're tired of all the drama with the girls. So Cody's like, I don't know. Danny might try and get Tyler up on the block because now she's compared notes with Bailey, and Bailey said that Tyler was the source that told her that Danny was coming after her. So yeah, he knows that because Danny told him about it. And he says he's not going to tell Tyler because he doesn't want Tyler like freaking out. Ooh, okay. So then Memphis comes into the room and they all agree nominations should stay the same this week because the 2 nominees lost. So, they're not going to make a big move here. let's just keep it the same. Okay, cool. So then Day joins them and she says, I'm going to have to start campaigning. And she starts, crying a little bit. She says, I'm sorry for being so emotional, but this is the competition that sent me home in season 18. Dang, that's right. That was the power of veto the week that she was evicted in season 18. That's crazy. So she said she's having flashbacks, and it just freaked her out. But she says she's not going to campaign against Bailey. That is her girl. But she does have to play Big Brother. She realizes that. So she's not going to say anything negative about Bailey, but she is going to campaign for herself. So she tells them, I want to talk to each of you individually at some point. So Day is ready to dive into this campaigning, even though they didn't have the power veto ceremony yet. But I gotta give her props. She's wanting to stay, and she's gonna do what she's got to do in a nice way, because that is her friend up next to her. So then Davon talks to Christmas in the lounge, and she's like, I was a wreck as soon as I saw what the competition was, because again, it's the same one that took her out in 18. And it's interesting to see these two talking about it together, because Davon went home after that competition, but in season 19, that's the competition that everyone threw to Christmas. Remember, she had her broken foot, but somehow she won this running competition. Ridiculous. Yeah, so it's an interesting juxtaposition there. So then Day says, I know that I don't have the votes to stay if Bailey and I are still up on the block on Thursday. And Christmas is like, oh, we don't know that for sure. We got to see what happens. So she says, I know that you and Bailey both want to stay here. So how do we figure this out without any campaigning or flipping the house? So no Big Brother this week then? Oh. So Day says, I don't want to campaign against Bailey, but I also didn't come here for Bailey. I just met her 31 days ago. You know why I'm playing. I'm playing for my daughter. So Christmas says, I don't want either of you guys to campaign against each other. Of course she doesn't. She doesn't want drama on her HOH week. But she's saying, what are our options to be as gentle, understanding, and kind as possible? It's just weird to see Christmas talk like this when we've seen her, talking about how she's going to tear people apart and, rip them apart and stuff. Whatever. So Day asks her point blank, are you down to backdoor someone? And Christmas says, I don't know. It's not my style. So then Christmas was talking about how nice it is to play with some women this season. She felt like her season was super toxic. It was. But she was part of that. But now, I can't believe she's talking about how nice it is to play with women when she nominates 2 women on the block. What? So Day is yeah, it's great. She says that she is down to ride and set this whole place on fire. She says, me, you, Danny, and Nicole, we could be a powerhouse group together. And Christmas is yeah, I've already told you before, I want you to make it far in this game. And she's saying that I don't necessarily want Bailey to leave. That's not what I'm saying, but one of the two has to happen. But she has told Day, I want to see you do well. I want you to make it further in this game than you've made it before. So Christmas tells Davon, if the nominations stay the same, you're not guaranteed to go home. I think you have more support around the house than you think. And I do genuinely believe that Christmas wants Davon to stay this week. So then Christmas starts talking about Billions, the TV show. She was trying to make some sort of reference to Day, but Day doesn't watch that show. But Christmas just kept going anyway. I don't know. I worked on that show one day, though. Okay. So then Bailey talks to Christmas next in the lounge. And Christmas is I don't want you to pitch right now. Let's just talk, So Christmas says that power veto competition was so tough. Me, Danny, and Nicole, we were all having a dilemma because nobody wanted to take that veto. Nobody wanted to win that veto. And Bailey said, well, I did. I can think of 2 people who definitely did. But anyway, the feeds were down for a good portion of this conversation. But when they came back, Christmas was saying, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I got to think about it. I got to pray on it. And Bailey says, she doesn't want to give up hope until it's time to give up. So, yeah. But then Bailey also mentions that she got like a weird look from Tyler earlier, like before the competition. And she's asking Christmas, did you tell Tyler anything that we talked about? Like how he told me that Danny was coming after me? And Christmas says, no, like I didn't. We were just studying for the competition. And we find out later that she was being honest with Bailey because she didn't tell Tyler yet. That means that doesn't mean that she's not going to, but at that point, she had not told Tyler yet. Okay. So then Bailey talks to Nicole and Danny in the key bedroom. And Bailey says, what you guys did like, during the Power Veto competition was really sweet of you. Because I guess neither of them took the veto from Day or Bay. And Nicole gave Davon the $5,000. So they were saying, like, that was really cool. We really appreciate it and respect it. So then Day joins them. And Bailey asks Danny and Nicole, do you think there's any chance, any hope that Christmas will use the Power Veto this week? Is there anything we can say to her to get her to put somebody bigger up on the block? And they say, like, we've got no preference for which one of us would be saved. Like, either one of us could come off the block. But, like, do you think there's any chance that she would use it? And Bailey says, if you guys help us, we have enough friends who will vote with us so that we can all get done whatever we want to get done, like take out Tyler or something. So Danny says, all right, I have no idea truly if it's possible this week. I don't know if Christmas would be willing to do that. But she says she's going to put her feelers out there with Christmas, and she's going to be completely open with them throughout the week because she doesn't want to like give them the runaround. So Day says, honestly, she felt like Christmas wanted her or Bailey to win the Power Veto. It's almost like she wanted the veto to be used, but she's kind of like afraid to be the one to do it. And I would agree. It seemed like Christmas was kind of cool with Bailey or Davon winning, but I think she was also worried. She's worried about, she doesn't want to split up the committee, right? So I don't know that she would have put up Tyler as a replacement. I think she might have just like punked out and put up Kevin instead, especially since they thought that Kevin might have a power, which I'm pretty sure he doesn't, because I thought he said in one of his hammock chats, like to his husband, that he didn't have one. But anyway, where are we? Day says, okay, I said that part. Yeah, Bailey was like, she told me that she didn't want to win it. But that's just how it worked out. So Day says she's trying to come up with scenarios that will benefit them and also not hurt Christmas's game, something that'll work for everybody. And again, she's saying if it was to go down, the support would be there. Don't have to worry about the votes. So Bailey says, I'm still being here. People would go after us before they go after you. We would be the targets in front of you. So Day says, another thing to think of, if we both make it to jury and you guys make it to the final two, or one of you makes it to the final two, we will work our butts off to sway the votes for you to win. And, you know, Nicole has already benefited from that because Day was an important part of Nicole winning her season. And Bailey says, like, I know how to poison a jury. You can ask Tyler about it. She didn't say you can ask Tyler, but like, you know. So then Day says, realistically, she realizes Christmas is probably not going to use the power veto. Yeah. So then Danny asks them, are you guys sure that Kevin doesn't have a power? Of course she's asking this. But Day and Bay say no, he does not. Not that we know of. You know, he hasn't said anything. So then Danny says, all right, you guys can't give up. Got to stay optimistic because anything could happen. You know, there's always a way. So Bailey leaves and Day is still talking to Danny and Nicole. And she says, I don't know who the target is. But I feel like Bailey and I are probably both staying up on the block. I really doubt that Christmas is going to use the veto. Yeah. So Nicole and Danny confirm if the nominations stay the same, they will vote for Day to stay. So then they're going through her votes. They're like, okay, that's 2. You probably have Kevin, probably have Ian. So that's 4. And you only need 5 to stay this week. So Nicole says, I think we'll be able to get you the votes. It should be okay.
So then, like I said before, Day is already starting to campaign a bit. She's doing some one-on-ones. And it's not like these in-depth conversations, but it's just, quick little check-ins. So she talked individually to David, Enzo, Memphis, Cody. I think she might have also talked to Tyler at one point. So she's telling all of them, like, I work with you. And they're saying, cool, 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 tight, tight, tight. They are basically telling her, like, it's early in the week. I want to talk to Bailey too before I make a decision. So again, it's early in the week. She's just laying the groundwork at this point. But she is asking people to be honest with her when they do make their decision. Like, just tell me what you're going to do, right? Okay, so Christmas and Cody were up in the HOH room, and Christmas says that she feels that Bailey and Day will handle this week with grace, and she really appreciates that. Oh, you mean they're not going to shoot you or stab you with a fork anymore, like you were saying before? So anyway, they talk about how the committee is doing so great. They've won so many competitions. This is the Memphis Alliance. And they feel like there's no reason they can't make it to the final 6. They just got to keep winning these competitions and taking out these other people. That sounds so boring. So then Christmas says Kevin's got to go next. And Cody agrees. He is 100% with that. So they're thinking still Kevin probably has a power. And Cody says, I've got no problem putting Kevin up next week and flushing that power out. So Cody is like, however, I am not down for the committee cannibalizing themselves right now. We don't need to be going after each other. He says for us to go to the final 6 together is attainable. Blech. Okay. So then Christmas was talking about how perfect her HOH week has been so far. She says, yeah, it's been a lot of emotion and it was a tough move, but she's really proud of her work and she feels even closer to Day and Bay than she was before. So then they're talking about Ian, and Cody says he's nervous about Ian because he played really well during the back end of his season. He really turned it up, and that's what Ian was planning on doing this season too. I remember he was saying he wanted to low for the first half and then really turn things up a notch. So I don't know. We'll see if he's able to do that. But Christmas says, yeah, now we have a reason to put him up in the future because he's having so much anxiety that he literally can't play the game. He couldn't participate in the power veto competition. That's a lame excuse to target someone. But anyway, later, Christmas and Tyler have a game chat in the HOH room. And Christmas says, again, that she thinks Kevin has power. He's too comfortable. He is being weird. And Christmas says he's got to go. Not this week, but next week. She still wants Bailey out this week. But she says Kevin is not a friendly. And for a while, I kept thinking that Christmas was just being a dorkwad by saying the word friendly instead of friend. But thank you to Kenny D for clearing that up and letting me know that that's like a military term. Okay, so that makes more sense. But it's still like whenever she says it. So, yeah, Christmas says he's not a friendly. He's been trying to work with everyone. He thinks that he's kind of working with me and Enzo. They have that alliance, Tickle Monsters, but I guess that's not legit. And Christmas is saying, our group, the committee, we're set up right now. We are good. Me and you are set up as a 2. Like, nobody realizes how close we are. And it's true. People are not making that connection. And, yeah, she's saying she feels like she's in pretty good shape coming off of this HOH next week. So then Christmas is saying, for the vote this week, the Alliance has the votes to do what they want. We've got Tyler, Memphis, Cody, Danny, and Nicole. That's 5 people. You only need 5 to get something done this week. And she says, if anyone votes rogue, I will terrorize and interrogate them. Okay, so Tyler's like, you want Bailey to leave, right? And Christmas says, yes. Bailey is a better competitor, a better physical competitor. Davon tends to crumble under pressure. And of course, Christmas has to throw in there, I thrive under pressure. So Tyler agrees, and he says he thinks everyone can get on board with that, with getting rid of Bailey this week. So then Christmas says, okay, I need to tell you something. Bailey said that you were the one who told her that Danny was targeting her. So Tyler's like, yeah, I knew that was coming because it's true. Christmas says, frankly, I don't give an F if you said that. Christmas is really the Rhett Butler of her time with that quote. So Christmas says, I don't care about it because you didn't lie about me. You didn't expose anything that I did. Because we know that Christmas was saying like over and over again how she would be on board to put up Bailey and Davon. And we've seen she did end up doing that. So Tyler's like, yeah, I didn't. I don't know if he's referring to like, I didn't throw you under the bus or I didn't say it at all to Bailey. So I'm not sure on that. I don't know. But he says, like, I just knew that I was going to be the scapegoat. Oh, Kenny's here. What's up, Kenny? So, yeah, he says, I knew this was going to happen. So Christmas says that Danny and Day also believe that he was the source. How do I know Rhett Butler? Oh, my God. That's like a famous, like, that's one of the best movies of all time. Of course I know Gone with the Wind. But anyway, yeah, Tyler says for sure Danny believes it because she's been acting really weird with me. And he's like, I think the girls baited me. You know, Bailey came to me and said, like, she thinks that Danny's coming after her. I remember you going to her and being like, guess what? But he says that Bailey is trying to pin this on me, Enzo, and Cody. That's why she said there were 3 sources. But we already know that Bailey said it was Tyler, Ian, and Kaser. That's what she told Danny. So Christmas is like, all right, well, I'm going to pretend that I'm just weighing my options, but Bailey's got to go. It's so boring when things are like set with the nominations and then nothing changes with the veto. Nothing, like no votes are flipped. It's so boring. So Christmas says, let's be real. This past week or two, Bailey's been getting real sassy. Oh my God. So Tyler's like, yeah, I had to talk her down from going off on the whole house. I'm pretty sure he was talking her down because he didn't want all of his information coming out. He didn't want everyone to know that he's been doing some sneaky stuff, right? So then Tyler asks, are they trying to get me backdoored? Danny, Bailey, and Davon? And Christmas says, no. So she kind of just like lied to Tyler because they totally are, and it's been brought up to Christmas. So I'm pretty sure she's just lying to him because she doesn't want him to like freak out, and you know she's all about keeping the group together. So she's trying to keep the committee intact. Okay, so Tyler's like, all right, well, I feel like they're going to target me next week. I feel like if Danny wins, she might try and backdoor me or something. That'd be pretty sick, actually. But anyway, Tyler was then in the photo bedroom with Enzo and Cody, and he says, guess what? Bailey told Danny that I was the source. I was the one that told her that Danny was coming after her. So then it's interesting because Danny already told Cody that she knew about this, and Cody also did not tell Tyler for pretty much the same reason. He didn't want things to blow up. So Cody says, yeah, Danny's been acting really weird. She's pissed that we didn't tell her about this. And this is like exactly why Cody was freaking out at Tyler last week, or about Tyler last week, not to his face, because he didn't want Tyler including his name just in case this information got back to Danny, which it did. So Tyler says, all right, I'm just going to keep acting like I don't know that they know. And Enzo's like, it's fine. We're getting rid of Bailey. And Tyler agrees. So Tyler apologizes to them for starting all of this, and they're like, it's okay, after all of their freaking crabbing last week about it. So Enzo says, I don't give an F. At least we know that we can't trust Danny now. And Tyler's like, yeah, it's messed up that Danny knew about this, and yet she didn't tell us about it. But here's why you're wrong, because Danny did tell Cody about it, and Cody decided not to tell you. Yeah, so she's definitely still loyal to Cody, and I think Cody is definitely still loyal to her, even though he's hearing all these conversations about how she needs to go soon. So then they're talking about how Nicole knows about this information too, and Enzo's like, why is Nicole the champion in a better position than everyone else right now? Like, what is going on here? That's a good question, isn't it? And I think you should be the one to answer it. So then Cody is saying how he wants to win HOH next week, backdoor Ian. I think he was saying too, like, he would put up Kevin to try and flush out a power if he has one, but he would want to backdoor Ian. So Tyler is worried that Danny is going to try and get him backdoored this week. Cody says, nah, no way. Like, she wouldn't have the votes to do that. And she's not even going to try if she knows that she doesn't have the votes. So don't worry about it. All right. So then a little later, Nicole gets her slopatard. So everyone was cracking up. She's got to wear it for a week. And it's like this giant cereal box. And it's got sloppies written on the front. She's got the nutrition facts on the back. An orange unitard underneath. I think there's like a blue little skirt. And she's also got to wear this long blonde wig. So the front of the box on the bottom, it says, "They're gross." It's very funny. So Nicole comes out and she's like, "It's hideous. I'm so pissed." Ah! So Nicole says that she's got to be wearing it at all times until right before she goes to bed. She's got to wear it out by the pool. After she showers, she's got to put it back on, like in the shower stall. So Cody's like, "Well, why did Janelle get to walk around without her costume?" And Nicole's like, "Exactly. They like her a lot more than me." And then the feeds cut. Ah! The good news for Nicole, though, is she's not actually on slop. She's just wearing this costume. So that's something, right? So then a little later, Bailey begins her triathlete punishment. It started a little bit after 9:30 p.m. Big Brother time. And she's got 12 hours to complete 500 laps on a tricycle around this little track that Big Brother set up for her in the backyard. So that paces out to like 42 laps an hour. So the track is set up with like hay, tires, the little flags hanging up. And she also says if she does not complete the punishment in the 12 hours, she can't play in the Power Veto next week, even if she's nominated or the HOH. Damn. Okay, so she starts her punishment. She's got lots of support from the other house guests, and she was worried at first that the tricycle was going to be like for a child, and she's pretty tall, but they did give her one that allowed her to not like kill her legs while she was using it. It seemed like it was really more difficult than it needed to be, though, for a few reasons. Number one, there was a lot, like it was a short track, so there was a lot of turning, and I think that was really bugging her inside leg, the inside of the track. Also, the way that this tricycle was set up so that she could extend her legs more, the pedals were like on the front wheel, and it was in, there's no gears, but it was in like a really low gear, and you have to work a lot harder to like do more rotations on the pedals. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys bike at all, but if you're in like a higher gear, you're pushing more, but you don't have to do it. You don't have to do as many revolutions. You know what I'm saying? But since this was such a low gear, it's like, okay. You know what I mean? Okay. So yeah, Bailey was crushing it. She had a really great attitude throughout the whole thing. And she was already like 50 laps in within like the first 15 minutes. So she was killing it. The tricycle kept breaking. The pedal was messed up. I think some of the like nuts and bolts were coming loose a little bit. But here comes Christmas, the former race car pit crew member. So she was able to fix it, which was kind of fun. And then after a while, Bailey took a break. And she was crying in the kitchen. So she was talking to Davon and telling her, as I'm doing my laps, I'm getting more and more angry at Christmas. And she says, Christmas disgusts me. She says, I genuinely told Christmas that I wouldn't touch her in this house. And she's really upset because Christmas's reason for putting them up together was that Bailey told her the day is her untouchable and she would like never put her up on the block. But at the same time, Nicole has said pretty much the same thing about Ian. Like, he's her best friend in the house. And, She would never go after him. And on top of that, they've both already won before. So they should have huge targets on them. But for some reason, that's fine. But it's a problem when Bailey says that about Davon. But she's missing that it's because Christmas is in the majority alliance with all those people. So, yeah. But anyway, Bailey says this is bullshit. She tries to connect with people, and she just ends up feeling like a reject because they don't want to have anything to do with her. But she knows that she's awesome. So Day's like, you know who you are. You're the cream of the crop. Don't dumb yourself down in here. Yes, I agree. So then Bailey ended up finishing her punishment around 1 a.m. Big Brother time. So it took her, like around 3.5 hours or so to finish with a break in there. She killed it. At one point, or a few points, she even had to pedal with one leg because the pedal was messed up. And the last 10 laps or so, everybody was up and like cheering for her, and Day was leading the cheer squad. It was Day's such a great friend. Oh my God, amazing. So yeah, everybody was cheering for her when she completed the final lap. Yay! Okay, so now today, what's going on? I mean, usually the power of veto ceremony is on a Monday. I'm assuming it still will be, even though tomorrow is Labor Day. And I think they were talking about how they're going to be getting a party tomorrow. I don't know if production confirmed that with them, but they seem pretty convinced it's happening. So maybe we'll get a surprise POV ceremony today instead. I don't know. I think it'll still be tomorrow, but you never know. So I'm guessing today maybe there's going to be some sort of push. Yay!
Today everybody's going to be watching the puppet show.
Yes. Today I'll talk about that in a second. Today maybe there's going to be some sort of push from Day and Bailey to use the veto, maybe get Tyler up. I don't think it's going to be successful, but we'll see if they do it. Hi! Oh. And then another thing, we still don't know who got that third power or what it is. So we'll finally get some answers on the episode tonight. Who do you guys think it is? I'm thinking Enzo. Enzo or Tyler, I would guess.
I would say Tyler.
You think it's Tyler?
Yeah.
You don't think it's sus, though, that he didn't tell Christmas, especially when Christmas told him about her power?
No.
I've also heard guesses of maybe Ian, which is possible, because, like, who would he feel comfortable enough to tell? He knows he can't trust Nicole at this point, so I don't know. Oh, babies! Oh, they're doing kisses. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know who won that third one, but we'll find out. Yeah. So yeah, please guys, the puppet show, this week's puppet show is up. If you haven't already seen it, it's a lot of fun and I think you'll enjoy it. So now I want to thank today's super chatters. Oh wait, I see we have another one. I don't want to miss it.
Man.
I know. Let's see, we've got Sheena here. Oh, you got Sheena, okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so today's super chatters, you guys are amazing. Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much. Latoya L. It's Latoya Lawson. Thank you so much. Michelle Noel Creations. Thank you so much. And she has a question. Did Danny tell Christmas or Nicole that her power was trash? She did.
Whoa.
Okay, let's not do that.
Lucy said, you better not.
Yeah. Lucy is a little ready. They're fine, guys. Yes, so Danny told Nicole about her power, and she said it was trash, literal garbage. I don't think that Christmas and Danny told each other about their powers. I don't think they know about each other's. But yeah, thank you for your question, and thank you so much for the support. The Baron69, thank you so much. 5 for the podcast, and 5 for being a Yankee fan. Thank you. Go Yankees. Gio Epe, thank you so much. Amazing. You're like an OG on this channel. Kenny D, thank you so much. You are amazing, and I hope you are enjoying your baby granddaughter. How exciting.
Stand you.
Yes, so exciting. S. Dean, thank you so much. And Sheena123, thank you so much for the support. You guys are all amazing. So I'm going to get going now because it's almost going to be time to go to Granny's. Got to get in a quick swim. And I'll see you all tomorrow for Labor Day. So everybody enjoy your Sunday. And until next time, much love.